Hey guys, some fun here with an interview with someone you might know, Sergeant Ross.
Hey.
Now, you might be wondering why him?
Yeah, why me? That's weird.
Why Sergeant Ross? Well, if you don't know, he's actually the military advisor for an upcoming tactical FPS game that'll be coming out early 2016.
I plead the fifth.
Eh? Eh?
That is the target, yes. Our target is for quarter one or quarter two, 2016, yes.
All right, Sergeant Ross. So why don't you give you a little brief about yourself,
No one.
like the 10-cent version, not your normal let me ramble on for 10 hours and make people fall asleep version.
10-cent version. I don't even know what that means. All right. Anyways, yes. So I was in the Marine Corps Infantry as a mortarman. I carried a large boomstick. It's pretty
Boomstick,
good.
sweet.
Yeah, it's good. Lived about 6 years. Got out as a sergeant, so and Sergeant Ross, yay! And I have an extensive background in FPS gaming. So we'll say 2 decades.
Two
Sounds about right.
decades.
I don't know, like
It's a
Doom,
pretty big claim.
Doom, Doom
Doom.
time. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was playing with my dad. Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
Roger. And you played briefly some competitive, right? Uh,
Yes. Yeah, I got a little bit of a competitive background. Started in 98, 99 with Star Siege Tribes and TWL and OGL.
Sweet. Love me some tribes.
Tribes. Trebes.
Shazbot. All right. So why don't you explain a little bit how you got involved with Squad?
So it actually started with Project Reality for the most part. I was part of a clan that now, at the time, what we have now as a community manager was actually a part of, and somehow he just ended up following me throughout various games, totally unintentional. We would just always land in the same spot.
So he wasn't stalking you.
He probably was stalking me.
Okay.
But that would be Literalis, or Lido as we call him. And he just came to me one day and he was like, "Yo, dog, I'm on this team and we're making a game. You want to come help us with it? Because we like you. We think that you'd be a good advisor and also have some game sense. So you wouldn't be like, you need to make this like Arma, 5,000." So that's a pretty much short and sweet version.
Cool. So why don't you give us a little bit too about Lido and the rest of the gang? Maybe talk about kind of. I'm assuming that some of them worked on the mod as well, or the mods as well as some new guys.
Yes. It's actually exactly what it comes down to. Project Reality is BF2 mod that was trying to do similar to what we're doing now. That essentially you could think of this as like a spiritual successor to it. But yeah, it started with the guys who were modders on the Project Reality mod team.
Great.
Yeah, so they got together and said, we want to do this right, our own way.
Now we get the boring stuff out of the way. No, I kid. I
No.
kid. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Squad itself and what you're trying to achieve here?
Okay, so I already kind of start off a little bit with we were talking about earlier, Project Reality. Uh, People don't know too much about it. Essentially, it's like we're trying to bridge to the gap between Call of Duty and Arma, I guess you could say, right? Battlefield tried to do it. They claim to, but we all know it's ultimately just a arcade shooter with tanks. Like, it might as well be Call of Duty with
Right.
tanks and big open maps. We also want to keep it more fluid and easier and more accessible. So we're trying to stay away from the overly complicated control schemes of like Arma.
Okay. You specifically mentioned Arma, Battlefield, Call of Duty. Now, obviously, one of the first comparisons can be made here is Insurgency.
No.
So, what would you say to that?
Yeah, no, that's actually pretty accurate to what's currently going around right now. So, people have been looking at what we're currently offering as far as gameplay footage is concerned, and I don't blame a lot of people for coming to that conclusion when they first see it, because you're right. We're focusing on the core mechanics, which is infantry gameplay, and if the infantry gameplay doesn't work, then none of the game will work.
Right. Makes sense.
But one thing that's going to set us apart, and we've actually already started revealing this, is that the whole intent of Squad is to be a combined arms game on preferably one day get up to 16 square kilometer maps. That kind of depends on Unreal Engine development. but
Limitations of the engine.
yeah,
Okay.
limitations of the engine. But we already have a 4K map coming up, and we ideally will be able to hit 8K at least minimum 8K maps.
It's a big ass map.
Yeah, which Insurgency arguably is very small by comparison and is only infantry, whereas we're going to expand on it a lot more. On that, we're actually going to, like I said, we're going to have combined arms, so it'll be like a more hardcore version of Battlefield 4, a little bit smarter, a little bit more tactical version of it.
All right. I can't actually speak to that directly because that's in the future, obviously. But as
Yeah,
someone who's gotten early access and is able to, or not early access, let's not misunderstand, closed pre-alpha access, so we can be definite.
definitely. Yeah.
It definitely does not play like Insurgency, so I think that's good. It's not as hardcore as Arma, from what I can tell, and it's not Insurgency, so that's a good little mix there.
Yay.
So I'm gonna jump into the hard questions, and then I think we're gonna back out to some of the easier questions later. So, what is your favorite currently implemented feature in Squad?
Currently implemented feature.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be complete.
Okay.
Like there can be tweaks to it, but like, what's your current favorite feature in the game right now?
My favorite feature, I guess I'll put. I like the RPG a lot.
So you like to blow shit up, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, it's just our effects guys doing a really good job with implementing the backblast and everything in it, and with like Unreal's effects engine. Looks really cool because you actually have like particles that float in the air and like dust kicks up off the walls and stuff. It's pretty cool. I would say
That's
though,
cool.
like, I mean, it's really hard to compete with the deployable system though. So it's like when it's working, when the spawn mechanic is working with the base radios, actually being able to build a base is pretty incredible. And we've also seen some pretty emergent gameplay come out of that, where the U.S. essentially would hold like a front line, and we can't capture a flag next to that base because they have a sustainable spawn point, and you could kill 5 of them, but there's 5 more. So until you overrun that base, you can't cap the flag. And I think that's incredible because any other game, you just cap the flag, you just fight over the flag, and you just get bogged down in one spot, and that's gameplay every single time you play that map. So,
Well, that's
and,
good.
and those bases can be anywhere because you can place them anywhere. So
Yeah, that should definitely lend itself to replayability on
yeah,
maps, which is often an issue for FPSs.
for sure. Yeah.
People learn the map and they kind of just end up being better than other people in general because they know what paths to take that'll keep them out of the firefight until they need to be there.
Yep.
All right. So along those lines, what is your favorite or most anticipated planned feature? Now, you don't have to get too revealy. I don't want to get you in
Okay,
trouble
I'll
with
say
your
it's
group,
like
but
there's one, but I don't know if I can talk about it yet.
you can give me the non-spoiler version, or you can give me the spoiler version too. That's fine. You can be fired. It's cool.
Maybe no. They love me too much. Okay, so most anticipated feature is probably going to be my custom dev weapon skin, but
Okay. Okay.
Golden AK bitches. No, I'm just
Exclusivity. I see
kidding.
how it is. That's why you got into the game.
I did.
He just wanted his special gun, and he could walk away.
I'm just kidding. No, I can say we haven't revealed it, but I mean it's like I mean the writing's on the walls, obviously. Being that we're going to be a combined arm game, is going to be the APCs. I'm not going to say that there may or may not already be one.
May or may not already be one.
Yes, I cannot confirm nor deny, but there will be one coming up
Would you like to consult your lawyer real
in
quick?
the
Or?
future. And I mean, we all know there's going to be APCs. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
this is true. This is true. You can't have a combined arms game about warfare without APCs. So,
Right.
but apparently you're really looking forward to having that in the game.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's
Awesome.
going to be awesome when you hear that 25mm cannon going boom, 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 just firing off while you run down the street, getting shot at by insurgents. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Honestly, I have a hard enough time staying alive when it's just gunfire, so maybe I won't be anticipating the APC, but if I'm driving it or firing it, I'll definitely enjoy that.
Yeah. Yep. Don't worry about it. it'll be good. You'll get to drive it. No problems.
All right, since we're talking about future things, let's talk a little bit about kind of how many maps we're shooting for. Now, obviously, you can add post-release, but kind of what should people expect once the game is released.
Sure, yeah. So right now, most people have seen Logar. We just recently showed off, I think today or maybe yesterday. Well, we had a video, but actually, like official statement was Kohat. So Logar is actually a 2K map, which it kind of give you a sense of scale whenever you see those pan shots of Logar. You're like, well, that's a massive map. You're like, yeah, 2 square kilometers is actually huge. Now double that, and that's the
Yeah,
kind of playing field that we're going to look at as like the average. Like that's going to be the norm. Like I said, we're going to be pushing to 8K eventually, which is like it's just crazy. And we're also talking about having, well, as long as early access and the Kickstarter go well, we're also talking about having a lot more funding, and we're going to be having different factions. So we're going to have to give those factions a playing field. And it's no secret that we are planning on at least our first 2 factions are going to be Russians and British. We're
cool,
going to start with the British first. So they're going to need their own unique playing field as well. So I mean, there's going to be more.
cool. So to actually backtrack just a little bit, talking about the APC, can you kind of give hints at other vehicles we hope to have in the game?
Sure. We do have a Humvee that we recently showed off. It's already fitted with the turrets and the 50 calcs. I know a lot of people saw the work in progress variant. That was kind of didn't have any textures and didn't have a turret on it. We do have it has a turret with the glass and a 50 cal on it, and we're about to, well, we'll be showing off some functionality with it pretty soon. But the insurgents got to have their own version too, right? So
Right.
we also are going to have a insurgent technical. It'll be
So
like
they get the leftover construction vehicles that they buy and bring over. So it'll say like Hank's Construction 4x4 on it.
that poor bastard. That's a plumber.
I
The
know
plumber's phone number on the side.
that was an unfortunate
That was
incident.
unfortunate, but yeah, essentially yes.
Yeah,
They're gonna have that.
you have just like 4x4 trucks with some guns on it.
Yep.
Nice.
I'm trying to get them to make it a little bit better than what it was on Project Reality, where it literally was just the Dishka on the back of a Toyota, and they had no cover whatsoever. And I'm like, you're gonna put the up armored Humvee versus the technical. So I'm trying to get them as a military, as part of my military advisor, and also I think as gameplay, game balance, and design, to put a makeshift shield in the front. So at least they have
Makes sense.
something
Yeah.
when they fight each other, because otherwise that's just unfair.
Yeah. I mean, even if that's not super realistic, that's just kind of fair gameplay. Like
It
you have to
is, yeah,
make some allotments for
yeah.
people having fun.
And the insurgents do have RPGs right now, but we're about to give the U.S. their own AT launcher, so we definitely need to maintain at least some level
Yes.
of balance until we get IEDs in, and then we can start dealing with asymmetry. But
Yeah. All right. Well, so we've been talking about release, and this is obviously pretty early to talk about DLC, but let's be honest here. That's what
Yes.
everyone's going to ask about. What are you going to put out post-release? Is it actually going to be in the game before it's actually released? You're going to charge me for what's already in the Steam download, bro?
okay, so are you starting to ask me the hard questions? Is that
Yeah, we're getting to the hard questions.
Hard questions section. Okay. Actually,
Time for the serious business.
the serious business. I like it. We're gonna go radio style. I'm actually glad that you asked that, because we've already have an answer. We're not doing paid DLC.
No paid
We're doing
DLC.
free content updates.
You heard it here first, kids. No paid DLC. Get ready with the pitchforks and the torches when they later charge for DLC.
No comment. I plead the fifth.
Okay, so
No,
that's good. That's definitely some goodwill there for
This-
sure. People are gonna like hearing that. No paid DLC.
You just gotta buy the game.
Just gotta buy the game.
Yeah.
Which I mean, feel like that's a reasonable expectation to buy the game. But along those lines, then, so no paid DLC. What are your plans for modding?
Oh man, that's a bad one.
And more importantly, the distribution of community mods if you're going to allow mods.
Okay, so
Went right for that gut punch.
There's a lot of there's a lot of discussion that goes on a regular basis with the team. Most of the all of the developers are pretty much modders of some kind.
It's in your heritage.
A lot of them
essentially.
is from there, so they want to support it, or I want to say we want to support it for sure in some capacity. We're just not entirely sure the exact route we want to take at this time because one of the hard things, at first it was like a resounding like, oh hell yeah, day one support is going to be amazing, and then we were like, wait a minute, Unreal Engine 4 is free. Like anybody can pick it up and mod whatever the hell they want. They can make whatever they want. So it really comes down to like whether or not we want people to really change the vision in which like our like because it's our game that we're building from the ground up. It's like our vision. It's do we want people to start making like zombie mods for it and stuff? We're not entirely sure that's exactly the route we want to take. We still have to talk a lot more about it. We want to support modding in some form or fashion. We just don't know to what extent we want to do that. So that's kind of not the best answer in the world, but that's all I can really give you at the moment because even the team itself is still in debate. So.
Well, I mean, it's an answer at least.
Yeah.
Obviously, showing forethought on the issue.
Yeah, there will be mod support. We just don't know how extreme we're going to let it go. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's the creator's dilemma, right? It's like you have a vision for something. How much do you let other people change that? But let's be real here. At some point, whether you're allowed or not, there's going to be a server-side zombie mod.
I know everyone's saying that.
It's going to happen one way or another.
What's funny is even one of the devs is like, I'm probably just going to make my own zombie mod, bitch. You're like, oh, come on, man.
I mean, even Insurgency recently released a zombie mod for...
Oh, man. Of course.
Or zombie map game mode. Something along those lines.
Maybe that'll be the paid DLC that we're not going to...
The paid DLC?
that we're not going to do.
Torches. All right, so this last little bit here, I'm just going to combine 3 questions together and let you ramble on and attempt to answer these questions.
That's a good classic rock song, by the way.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hopefully, I don't get copyright claim for that nice little line there. Shit. Obviously, we already talked about you're currently running a Kickstarter campaign for the game.
Yes.
You're going to be hitting Steam Early Access.
Yes.
So give us a brief about the Kickstarter, and then in that, give us kind of, if you can be a little bit more specific with it. Well, you already gave the target release date, but go ahead and reiterate that, and then along with that, the release price.
Okay. So the Kickstarter is to take all your monies and then fly to Mexico.
Oh.
And live out our days as rich people.
Nice. I wish I had the Kickstarter page up right now and watch the number go down.
No. Essentially, we are broke bastards who are actually in debt, and we've already made the decision as a team that we're going to be completely honest with people. So everybody that's currently working on the game is essentially either working off their own savings or working on it outside of their full-time jobs, such as myself. And none of us are getting paid, essentially, and which is incredible for the amount of work that's already been done on it. Like the fact that we can have a solid game, of core infantry mechanics is a testament to the dedication of the team. But ultimately, it comes down to, man, is like it's not sustainable over a long period.
Right?
I mean, if we want to get like when you look at the stretch goals, that's not a wish list. We try to tell people because it looks deceptive, right? You're like, oh, you claim to be combined arms, but your stretch goal is 1 million for helicopters. I'm like, well, that's not a wish list, dude. That's reality. That's what's gonna cost in development in order for helicopters to be implemented. It's not Battlefield 2. Battlefield 2 came with those assets already coded in and built in.
Right.
The mod team just had to iterate on that code. We're building from the ground up, so all the systems are just right out of pocket. We gotta do it. So people need to pay the bills and feed their family while they're making this awesome video game that we're trying to make for everybody. And I really feel like it's going to be something special and something that I think a lot of gamers will appreciate because I don't know about, the rest of the gaming, FPS gaming population, but I'm just kind of tired of buying, Call of Duty every year. Call of Duty 5, Call of Duty 6, Call of Duty 7 once a year. And it's literally just the same crap. Oh, we're gonna throw robots on you, and now you're modern like advanced warfare. It's not. It's just the same corridor crap over and over and over again. Day. And it's like I kind of feel like it's insulting at this point. Like I think we're a little bit smarter than that, and I think we can actually we can make a game that will actually appreciate gamers in a sense, I guess you could say.
Right.
So and we also don't want to have everything be as static as having like a conquest map where you just go down a lattice system, capturing point A, point B, point C, point E. You want the players to actually have some control. So that's why we thought like the deployable system would be fantastic, where you actually create like dynamic objectives. Not only do you need to like hold territory, or capture a flag, or the various game modes that we were thinking up of right now, but you also essentially have side objectives where it's like I need to assault this fob, you know. And in order to do that, we need money. So that's what we're asking for, man. We're just asking for a little help, a little support,
A little help.
a little support, yeah, so that we can realize this vision and actually produce a game that's worth a damn. That is like, what is the word I'm looking for? That gamers deserve.
Yeah.
There we go. That's a hard hitting one right there. Boom. That I deserve.
The game that you deserve.
Yeah, that
Nice.
you deserve.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds great. I still haven't heard. I still haven't heard a release price yet, though.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Let
Come on,
them
man.
know
I'm
how
trying
much I have to pay for what they deserve.
Did you not hear like my boxing moves I was doing just now?
You were bobbing and weaving around
bobbing and
that.
weaving, trying to get out of this. I'm just kidding. No. The early access price is going to be $35.
35. That's a pretty reasonable price.
It's interesting because people comparing to Insurgency and other games too, they're like, "What? That's crazy. That seems a little expensive." And I'm like, for an indie game, like, yeah, but we're essentially an indie team trying to make a AAA title, and all we're asking on like the Kickstarter is 150 grand, for the goal, and the more money we make, the faster the content will be there. Like we're gonna get to helicopters, but instead of being like a year and a half from now, it would be like a year from now or whatever, or sooner.
Right.
So,
and at least you're not asking, $350 for Humvee, $475 for an APC.
hey, we got this sweet new custom weapon skin that you could buy for only $20 for the low price of $20. Nah, a lot of hard work and a lot of content going into it, and I think it's definitely going to be worth the 35. And like I said, with the Kickstarter right now, if you're just interested in getting just the game, then it's $5 off right now, so you can pay 30. Just
So
for the
$30 for the minimum pledge to get the game at release or at early access.
At early access.
At early access. Okay.
Yeah, it's that is, and that for now there is no other price outside of as far as like early access and release. Like it's $35. $35 gets you the full game regardless of what state it's in. So I know some people have questions about that. Like, well, if I buy $35 early access, what about when we release? Like, nope, you own the game. Once you buy that in early access, you own the game. So
we take it from you. You lose.
I was
it.
like, yeah. When we're releasing 1.0 2 weeks after early access.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys have fun? All right,
Cool.
That'll now be
$70.
$70. No. Once you buy the game, it's yours for life. So, and you don't ever have to put any more money into it if you don't want to.
Well, great. I mean, it sounds like y'all have a vision, you have a plan, you have a Kickstarter, you just need some money. So if Squad sounds like a game for you guys, go to Kickstarter.com and look for Squad, or go to joinsquad.com
Yep.
/Kickstarter, I believe is the URL. I'll have it down in the description below. Any last comments, SgtRoss, that you'd like to add?
I'm pretty excited. I'm just privileged to be able to be part of the team. So.
Well, that's awesome. I think that's what most gamers grow up wishing to happen, to be able to work on the game they always wanted to play.
Hell yeah. Yep. Well, I want to add something too, because a lot of feedback we got from the community, and we were talking about it in dev chat and stuff too, is that, but I would highly suggest that if you're really curious to see what the vision will, like conceptually looks like, I would highly recommend going and checking out some Battlefield 2 Project Reality videos that really will demonstrate kind of the direction that we're heading. Obviously, like I said, it's you can essentially look at this game as being the spiritual successor of that. We're just trying to do it bigger, better, and commercial product with a much better engine that's not as limited. So,
seems like a good idea.
Yep.
All right, guys. So that's the interview with SgtRoss for the upcoming Tactical FPS Squad. Thanks for joining us, SgtRoss.
Thank you for having me. You are awesome.
You are awesome. No. I am awesome.
You.
No, you guys are awesome.
Okay. You guys, the listeners, you guys are awesome.
All right, guys. So go to their website, joinsquad.com. You can go to joinsquad.com /Kickstarter to hit the Kickstarter. and see the packages, pledge for all the monies, and get this game made with them helicopters.
Yay, helicopters, fast ropes.
And also stay tuned later this week for more squad content, including a Kickstarter spotlight later this week. Till next time, guys, peace out.